Okay, let's get started. So, yeah, sorry if you can hear my fan at the background. It's like super hot here in London, and I have a fan at my desk. But the problem is that, we kind of like my upper body is like, 'cause the fan can hit, so I kind of feel cooler. But the thing is, like, my leg and my butt is like super sweaty. I don't know whether there's like a kind of like cool like cushion that kind of cool your butt down, like you can put on your chair and you could just sit on it. So if you know any cushion that could help you to cool your butt during hot summer, then please let me know. I buy a lot of things from Amazon, so let me know so maybe I can buy it from Amazon or something. So the frame rate is going back to normal, like there's no drop frame today. So I think what I did is that I changed the setting from, because usually I use OBS, and then how like it do is like it would just stream to whatever server that I see fit. I do believe my VPN before was for some reason is connecting to the US. So I think maybe that's why it detected and try to connect me to US, and that is not the best server for me. So I think that's why. Because now it seems fine. Hasn't like I'm not using a VPN at the moment. I should really like use a VPN, but I think I could just turn off for streaming just to be sure. My internet is fine actually. It normally is super fast. I do pay a lot of money for my internet provider, so finger crossed. If they're doing a really bad job, I gotta have a rampage. Um, so today we're just gonna finish this NLP thing. Sorry about that. Like the last 2 weeks has been crazy due to EuroPython. I was like super tired for like even for this week, but I'm feeling much better now, and I do have some time to wrap up this project and debug it. So now it works fine. I just what I am trying to do is like I just trying to maybe redo the thing again from fresh, because now you can see there's like 36 commits there. So yeah, this is not what I wanted, because like this is how I debug everything. So you see like it's a bit of a mess. But yeah, what I gotta do, I gotta start from a clean state and then run it over like again. Sorry, this is like almost like third time I'm running through it, but I think if you're new to watch me, then it's good that I run over from like how to like get the SpaCy dog to put it in a graph, and then also I would maybe at the end, if we had time, we would definitely, after building the graph, we would try to use the graph to do something interesting, maybe do some query, and that's actually good to have this tutorial. I kind of like it. I kind of like having an application that is somehow relates to NLP. Of course, this is very very basic. If you're an NLP expert, maybe you can take it and use it in your more complicated projects. Okay. So first of all, I want to start from a clean state, like I said. So what I would try to do is that I would nuke this. So NLP SpaCy. So go to management, manage, and delete it. So remember NLP SpaCy. Yeah, I do reflect that like the name, because it was all cap there, so it's like sometimes a bit confusing. But I'm pretty sure that I used lowercase. So yep, that's how I deleted. So it's empty. So what I gotta do is like come here. So yeah, I have an extra script to generate the SpaCy into a dictionary. So people who doesn't have SpaCy can also try out the tutorial. I'm trying to write a new tutorial based on this, and it will be put into the documentation. So yeah, that's why I was doing that. So localhost 6363. Yeah. So just some spoilers. So we are going to release the version 3 very soon. And for version 3, it will be using HTTPS. And the reason why we do that is like because then we can use Hub, and everything needs to be HTTPS, because Hub is on the internet. We want to be safe, so everything needs to be HTTPS. But so far we're still using the stable version, so you can totally just grab it from our quick start, the master branch, and just run it. But yeah, we'll have to do another update very soon, and things gonna change again, but it's going for the better. This metadata, I think, yeah, we're gonna like try to deprecate it as well, but I think it still works now. I think. If not, we just like ignore it, because we just start from fresh, so it should not be the problem here. Okay, so let's run the script. So this is a SpaCy schema. So I will open a terminal here so you can all see it. And yeah, so this is why I love Jupyter Notebook, because like I don't have to switch between windows, and like before, remember, I have like code and then preview and then like the terminal. It's like super small. So now I can just like flip between all of them. Okay, so Python. Well, I have a really bad memory. Okay, so luckily I can have autocomplete there. Yep. So nothing's appeared. That means that it's fine. If you are not very sure, just go here and refresh. Oh, we also like oh, you can't see it, but like now we are running on 6363 console, but like in the future versions, it will be just like like the IP and the port of your service, so you don't have to put console there. So yeah, so we have created the graph, so we like very fresh. We just started, you know. So what we're gonna do now is that we're done with you, and we're gonna go to our notebook. So here, just to recap what we have done. Oh, I closed the schema. Actually, I want to show you a little bit more about this. Okay. So yeah, so the schema that we have built is actually two things. One is the SpaCy docs. So this graph is designed to store multiple docs. So actually, that's why I have another docs object here. But if you want to just make a graph that store a big doc, then you don't have to. It's just everything is just like one doc. But I am expecting to have multiple, so that's why I have a doc object. Then you know like you can have all these tokens belong to this doc. So yeah, you can see that it got a property that links it back to the doc. So within the token itself, of course, they have some like property from SpaCy. So SpaCy actually linguistic feature here, yes. So the SpaCy here, you can see that this is what we are doing here. We have all these property from the tokens, and we are just trying to store them. And on top of this, what we gotta do is that we gotta store the head, the child, or the child bit. We haven't done it yet. Oh, maybe we can finish that by putting the child in as well. Yeah, so actually like I forgot, I totally forgot about that bit until I look at it now. Or I just like go through, like just ignore it for now. I would just like finish it off screen, because yeah, I am a bit scared now that I don't want to like do too much online coding thing, because yeah, I'm just like scarred from the last episode. So we'll see how I feel like, because yeah, I don't want to bore you too much. I don't know, like, because sometimes I feel like people will be bored. The weather's super nice. People may prefer to go outside and have a beer. So I don't want to, I want to make the tutorial worth your time. So please, like in the chat, type whatever question you have, what you want to see me doing. Let me know. I will try to be, at your service. Okay. So here, yeah. So here we have the doc type and the label. So yeah, this is the token. We just show label is just the name of it, right? And for docs we have the description, but for the token I just don't care. You can omit it. Properties, you have all this. Some of them are string, some of them are boolean. So that's fine. And yeah, so these are the oops, the object that we created. So these are the token objects, like head and child. Basically, they have all this hierarchy that they showed here. Yeah, so they have the hierarchy here. So just want to recreate that relationship in our graph. And the docs basically just point it back to where it belongs. Okay. So so these two are the objects. We can use the plus operator. I've overwritten it in the Python client 0.2.2. So yeah, you can add them up and then execute them together. Okay. And that creates your graph. Okay, so we have run it, and now let's have a look. And if we refresh now, we should see, oops, it's not updated. What's going on? Done. Oh yeah, I've make it smaller. So this is, yeah, we don't have any data there. We do have our schema here. Yeah, so the schema is these two objects, and properties. You have all these properties. And yep, so you can see these are the custom made objects, so they're not just like literal types like this one. So you can see the prefix is different. This is how you see that different properties kind of works in yeah, you can see there are different types. So that's how it works in Terminus DB. Okay. Right, so let's load in the data. Let's use SpaCy and load in the data. So it's here. And yeah, we need to call the client and a query from the Terminus DB client, like usual. And we have to have the DB ID so we can connect back to the database and also the server URL as well. So yeah, these are quite standard. Like I said, this will change in a future version, but you don't have to worry too much right now. The version I'm using now is the latest, so you'll be able to just do it like yourself. And here is the DB, and okay, so well, some of them are like kind of redundant for now because I've changed the way I do things. PP, it's just like for me to debug, so we can ignore this as well. So what we need is actually SpaCy, really. JSON, I don't need it as well, so yeah. And yeah, SpaCy is what we need. And then so these two functions I would explain later. Um, so what we do is like we load the SpaCy linguistic model. We just use the the core. This is small medium size, I think, web, so English. Um, so we have a sentence, we put it in the NLP, put it in the model, and it will give us a doc. So this doc is basically like what it shows here. It gives you all these properties for each token, and so you can study some linguistic properties of it. Do some linguistic study on it. And so to make our study more fluent, because like this is so small, right? This is just an example, but I think in the real study you can actually put in like a like big article in it, and you can study it. So yeah, so that's why we want to save it in the Terminus DB. So all the relations and everything will be saved there, and you can basically do some queries and access the data afterwards with a more fluent way rather than save it as an array or something, or JSON. Um, Okay, so this doc, how we gonna do it is that first of all we have the doc object, right? So we need to insert the doc object. So yeah, this script is still a little bit messy because like it's just executing in the middle of it. I may want to tidy up a little bit more, but I'm a bit like too exhausting because I spent one night just like doing all this again and again. I feel a bit exhausted, so maybe I'll come back to tidy it up like next week. But yeah, so we have the doc objects to insert. So this thing is actually the function above. So doc ID, what it does is that it will take this as the variable that we're going to link up later. So these two need to match. So this is the doc ID that we generate, and we will save it as a WoqL query. WoqL variables, all these things that start with V colon is the WoqL variable. I know people distaste it. We are thinking about a better way of handling this. So we're still, in kind of a R&D stage of like making a better query that you don't have to do all this like V colon anymore. Um, so yeah, this doc ID thing. So this doc ID, you take this like V colon. So like this is what the variable you would refer to in your WoqL query, and then the doc object itself, because we're gonna extract the text from it and then use it as a key to generate the ID for it. So we need to have the suffix of it, and it needs to start with doc colon for some reason. Like last time, I think I failed because I forgot to put the doc colon there. I don't know why, but yeah, you have to do it. Like yeah, it's still like there's a lot of tiny little syntactic things. We want to simplify this a lot more. So yeah, like all of these things, I think like V colon and doc colon of this, I want to like rewrite a query that basically handle all these things for you, so you don't have to remember this and make silly mistake like I did. So yeah, so we take the docs text as and make it into a string, and then use it as a key to generate the ID, and then it will store in this variable here, right? So we can use it in the other part of the query. Okay, so in the next part of the query, we of course we insert it. So we have to call that ID again, and the type of it will be, well, the doc that we created before. I show you here in this here that we have that doc classes. Yeah, we have this here, right? SEM SpaCy doc. So this is the object that we want to insert, and yeah, label we'll just use the text again. So this is so of course you have to execute it. This is how you insert the doc. So I would just add in a commit message, add in the doc. So straightforward, I hope. So and the next step is like we would just add in all the tokens. Like I said before, we haven't added in child yet. Okay, we may have to do it. I will just explain what I do here first. So, all tokens that I just want to store everything in a list, then I can execute later. So you can see that actually I kind of mixed these two use cases. So this is just using a plus operator to combine these two query together, and then here I'm just trying to store all these like query objects in a list, and then later we can just wrap it up with WoqL and here, and of course unpack it. I forgot to unpack it, and it caused me another horrible bug to kind of debug. So yeah, WoqL and would wrap them up for you. So this is two, like, I'm showcasing two different ways of doing things here, which I think is good. Of course, I can like just chain them up by, without a pen, I just like add them up together. But yeah, maybe it's good to show different ways of doing things. Um, so, and tokens in doc. So for each token, so this is actually doc could be used as a iterator. So yeah, so you can basically every time I will give you a token. I'm printing out the property here, so if I run it, you will see it afterwards. And when each insert query is generated here. So it's not that complicated. The difference between this one, the doc one, and this one is that I have a bunch of properties. Okay. So again, I have to have the ID of that ID that is generated here in this function. But the difference this time is that you can see that so I have to really like be specific in the naming, because I do have different tokens within this. I do have the token for for the head and the dog, maybe the child afterwards as well. So I have to be specific about the name, and also like because it's looping, multiple times, actually 10 times, because we have 10 tokens. Then we want to make it different, so we have to give it an index kind of thing to identify them. Okay. So the property is just like this is very similar to when we built the schema. So string a string, boolean a boolean. Yeah, again, this is a bit, you know, complicated. I don't think you necessarily need them. So far, the query could uh, parse it for you, but to be very, very sure, you have to wrap it like this. And this is another thing that I distaste. I hope that, by having another query that I don't have to do all these things. Actually, we can try if that would work. Why not? Like, whether it could do the conversion um, for me properly, but I am not sure because there are so many different types of object, and I think because last time when we write it, it was a bit of a rush that maybe the string is fine, but I'm not so sure the boolean works. I tried to patch it last week, or the week before, but it's still a bit. I'm not so sure. Let's test it out, okay? Um, Right, so these is actually linking the head of, so the head will be another token. I'm just linking it back. So I give another ID to it, and ID is actually generated here, the head, I just call the function generate, and then these two matches, so they will be here. The dog, again, call this again, and like the dog will be linked here. Um, yeah, and then insert the token. So basically, I generate two tokens for like two ID for the token, one for itself, one for the head of it, and I generate another dog ID here, and then I insert these things, and basically I have to add them up together, okay? And this will become a big query object that actually I append in this list. And then what I do is that I would break them apart, unpack it, and then wrap it with WoqL and instead, and then execute them all together. So let's see if it works. I'm a bit nervous because I've deleted all these like patching like those strings and boolean functions there. Let's see. Oh, I haven't imported. Is it silly me? Okay, so sorry. Let's do it again, shall we? Yeah. Right. Okay, it seems like it is inserting something. It gives me some binding back. It looks promising. So it inserts 12 objects there. So I guess is 10 tokens plus the dog. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Let's come here and not the schemer and go to the prop documents maybe. Yep. So now I have all this stuff. I have a document here. I have the tokens of them. Sorry, this is a bit long because I want to identify them by different like the token index, which token it is in this sentence. So yeah, it's a bit ugly to watch, but well, hey, I prefer that than a random number. So yeah, you can actually use. My colleague suggests that you can actually use unique here instead of ID gen. It will just give you an encoded ID, but it doesn't carry that, So because for this one is, although it's ugly, you can kind of still tell you that is an that sentence, and then with the position of the token. Yeah, so actually that's why I prefer this, even though it's super ugly to watch. Um, so yeah, that's it. And yeah, to generate the child, oh my god, like this would, because the child of the, because if you look at SpaCy, right, so the child of it is actually how can I say, it's actually a list. So that's why it makes things more interesting. You see children here, you can see yeah, it got multiple tokens as the children. So what we need to do is like we need to break this like in, because this is a list, right? We have to break them. And actually, I show you how to break the list last time in the movie dataset. So I actually am not very keen to do this. I would rather show you the query and let me struggle with this. And once I'm done, all the script will be at the terminus DB, our not here. This is the document. And yeah, after I'm done, I'll upload it into terminus DB tutorials, and then it will be one of these tutorials. Yeah, I haven't uploaded, but this one is the one that we did last time. That actually, I hope it's loading. Sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, so right. So yeah, let's I show how to. Not this one. Oh, this is the query one. Okay, fine. Yeah. So I'll show you how to break the list into different objects here. Yeah, you can see here. This is what we did. Split, and then we have the member, and then we have the generate ID. So yeah, so it will be like a bit complicated, and I'm not comfortable in showing it here. It may take a while. Maybe I would just like leave it till the end, because like I really want to show you how to query the graph. Um, so yeah, maybe at the end, like so like yeah, if I do it at the end, you don't want to see me struggle, you can just like leave. But I really want you to stay, so I'm not kicking you out yet. I want to do the query bit first. So what I gotta do is that I'll add another Jupyter notebook here. This one would be querying the graph. Yeah, right. So what I gotta do is that I gotta do the same thing. I have to call in the client and the query and then connect to it. So this is basically standard, so I'll just copy it over. And now we can make our query. So we have that document there, right? So maybe you can try to get all the documents. So query dot so triple, I would have things that is a document. So actually I kind of forget how it looks like. Give me one sec. Actually I can go back here. Yeah, okay. So I will just look at what I did last time then. And yeah. Sorry, like so I use this as documentation for now. So yeah, you have to use a triple and then put in what do you want, and then they should all be doc. So let's see what documents we have in this graph. So let's do a B. So this is some SpaCy doc, and then the type of it need to be a SCM SpaCy doc. I hope I spelled it correctly. So and then actually what I could do is that I could put it in the pandas data frame. Yeah, you can see that last time we did this, so yeah, maybe that's better, because otherwise it would just like give me a binding, which is like those JSON thing that is super weird. So what I gotta do is that import this too as well, okay? So, yeah, maybe I'll just do it here. Up, yeah, I always mess up shift enter and enter, because like in other like messengers things, like when you're not done you shift enter, but this is opposite, so I got really messed up sometimes. So we have this, and then we have to WoqlCraft, I spelled wrong. I haven't run this. Yeah, that's fine. So this one I would execute it. So query. So I would do a WoqlDF dot to data frame, and then this would be a query dot execute, and then I will put in the client here. Yeah, so let me get the client first. I need the client. Okay, let's see. It's not called to data frame. Oh my god. What's it called? A query to DF. Yeah. I'm so bad with names. I can't even, remember simple things. Sorry about that. Query to DF. Query is empty. Ooh, that's very strange. I connecting to the right ID there. SpaCy dot types. Maybe I spelled this wrong. Let me check. Just check the schema then. Yeah, oh, it's capital C, right. Yeah, if it's not matching, then it will, because it's case sensitive, it's not showing anything. So yeah, I do have one. Yeah, like I said, the ID is super ugly, but that's normal, because we haven't done yet. So what I gotta do is I gotta put a bracket here so I can break the line easily. And what I could do is that this is super ugly, so I want to do this, the label of it. So v some basic dog, and then this need to be the label, and this will be the dog label. And oops, nope, I forgot to close it. Right, and typo. Right, so now I have the label, and basically I don't want this one, so what I gotta do is to do a select here. So just push this into the next line, and dot select. Oops. Select. I only want the label, so only selecting the label here, and voila, we have only the label. So well, unfortunately, it's still too big for pandas to handle, but that's how we get the label. So now let's look at the tokens, shall we? Okay, so let me maybe copy this two things. I'm making a new cell. The token here, what we could do is that maybe I want to see, because like you don't actually need the trials, because like you can make a query to ask like whose head is this, and then you would basically get all the trials. So this is the dog we have, and yeah, so maybe I want to be specific that this dog needs to be the dog that we had, or yeah, this one needs to be the sentence. Okay, like well, because we only got one dog, so we don't care. So we can just like do the token thing. Okay, so some SpaCy token. But if you want to specifically saying like, oh, I only give me token from one dog, you can just like change this into the label that you give, which is that sentence. Maybe I can show you. Where was it? Yeah, I can put back the sentence here. If there's a way to kind of, maybe if you give this an ID, then maybe it's better. You don't have to put in the sentence every time, but you can change the label to the sentence, right? So it only applies to the dog belongs to this sentence. This is how you're gonna put it there. But then this is not a variable anymore. We'll put something else later. We'll keep on building it. Then so only this dog, right? And what we want is that we would have the token. So sum SpaCy token dash the type is so. Oh no, actually, like I want all the tokens from this dog. Or oh, okay, yeah, it's fine. Okay, wait, SCM SpaCy token. Okay, then we have to specify that all these tokens need to have this dog. Okay, so because this two is selecting the dog that has this, that is from this sentence. Okay, so now we have to specify that all these tokens need to from this dog. If you have multiple dogs, actually we can try insert another dog there, so you will see this is different. Okay. Oh, I'm using tab there. I hope I didn't like mess it up. I don't know. You can't mix those, you know. So yeah. There won't be a problem if I'm using atom because it show you all the like empty spaces for you. So let's what was okay, yeah, all these tokens need to have the doc as what we had before. So this need to be the what's that called again? What's that called again? Do doc, yeah. So the doc need to be those SpaCy dog here, okay? Done. So yeah, give me all the tokens. So I will just print out the tokens.text because it's super difficult for us to see. I'm using tab again, Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. Right, okay. So yeah, I gotta print out the text so then I can just select the text. You don't have to look at that ugly token anymore. And it seems like I can't speak and do coding because I don't know what I'm doing. This is text. Oops, and there should be some so this should be token text. Actually, this is called label. So wait a second. Label. Okay. So I should just select this text because I don't care about other things. Okay. Or maybe, yeah, that's fine. Let's see if we can do that. Oops. I know for some SpaCy token, they spelled it wrong. Why is it that it doesn't have the prefix? Type is SpaCy token, right? So did I the SCM SpaCy token? Let's make sure. Right, SpaCy dog, SpaCy token, and then maybe I'll just like ignore this two for now to see like what's going wrong. Some SpaCy dogs is fine. It's just gotta. Huh. Unknown prefixes. That's very weird. Yeah, this is from the back end. I'm just doing the same thing there. Why is it saying that I'm wrong? Just getting some token. Oh, I used the capital V there. Oh, Jesus. Why? Why? Okay, silly me. Okay, it should be fine now. And it's super difficult to see the big and the small V. It's just a few pixel difference, like a few pixel bigger is the capital V. So, Okay, so now I have all these token. So what I gotta do now? Like I don't know whether you can hear my notification. I don't know why my WhatsApp notification is on and all my friends are allowed now because it's Friday evening. They're like chatting about some random stuff. Sorry about that. Yeah. So okay. So what we're gonna do is like, cause we are now filtering only tokens in this sentence. So let's try to insert another sentence. Okay. let's insert another sentence. So it's very easy. We just need to change this, and then we can see that we won't get. So what's the difference, like by having those two lines or not? So I gotta grab another example from here. This is autonomous car. You know, this one. So I gotta replace this. So I gotta insert another doc. So you see, like, that's why I want multiple docs in it. Okay. Right. Okay, insert 77. Whoa. Things in it. I don't know why there's so many. I hope it's okay. Let's have a look at the documents. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it should be fine. Okay. So if I run this again, so it's the same, but if I, comment out this too. Yeah, we got an anonymous car as well. So yeah, this is how you filter, like, which doc you want, and also you can what else you can do is that you could also see the which one got, let's say, um, I want to find out uh, any okay, I'm just like cheating by looking at what they're showing here. So yeah, you can see that the the children of shift are this three. Okay, so how am I gonna find that? I haven't inserted any children there, but this three should actually has a head of shift. Okay, so yeah, this you can see the head is shift. The head is shift. So I just gotta find out whose head is shift, then I can find the children, right? So let's try that. So I still keep that. I could change that. Well, I don't have to change because like for the first sentence it doesn't got shift, so it should be still should be fine. Some SpaCy token. So the head of it need to be okay. So now we have to find out the shift token ID. So let's try something. Let's try to do an ID gen there to generate the ID for the token. So it should be the same. So right, let's go back here. I just copy this again. So I'm using the same thing. I'm using the same thing here. Okay, and this one need to be the a token ID. So right. So let's call it B token target token. Okay, so I just call it target token because this is what we're gonna generate ID. So this time I have to query. I have to add one more thing on it. So I can do it here. Okay, query. You need to add the token ID, and the dog is. Oh, I don't have the dog. Ooh. But you only need a text here. So maybe I can change it into a text. So yep, I'm cheating here. Token I. So it's fine. Just like token I'll import it manually. Oops. Token I. Okay, so what I will have is the sentence. So I find the sentence. What is the sentence? Autonomous car. And yeah, ideally you won't have an ID of it, but well, or you can actually find it in the query, right? So you can yeah, you can find it like the tokens text is yeah. Well, okay, let's do it in the query. That's actually easier than putting it like so target token. So dot triple target token need to have the label shift. Okay. So yeah, we don't need to add this anymore. Okay, delete it, delete. Okay, we don't need this anymore. We don't have to dive into this ID gen gauntlet. I'm missing a close bracket, is it? Why is it complaining? What are you complaining? Oh, here. Yeah, all the weird stuff is happening here at the moment. Okay, so you go back here so I can see you properly. And right. Oop. Label. Oops. Yeah. Put it in quotation. Yep. We can see that we can find them. You know, car shift liability. And check it against here. Yeah. Oh, two words. Oops. It's missing the two words for some reason. It's very strange. Very strange. Um, yeah, it's shift because if you look at here, oh yeah, you have to look at here, but like it should also have tours. I don't know why it's not doing the same thing. Maybe we use a different model. That's super weird. Liabilities now. Yeah, I have to cross check it. Why? Because it should also have towards toward yeah. So yeah, I want to really see that why. So I have the doc here, right? So I have the token is the token is can I can I just extract one token or okay, so maybe I would run this again and print out token in doc and print instead of that I would have head text and then head dot text. See why it doesn't show up. And okay, shift. I got shift and towards. Oh, it's liabilities. Oh, maybe we are using different model. It's different. Is head is actually liabilities, not shift. So liability, yeah. So this one is different. So maybe they use a different model for some reason, or maybe they have retrained the model. I don't know why it's different from they had. So that's a bit weird, but yeah. I think that's almost it. So like, I could try adding the child, but I think I've shown you that you don't need that actually. Yeah, I'd rather not have it actually. Like, let's remove this because you can just find it by the query itself. Yeah, so you can see that you can actually find the child like this. You can just find like whose head is what. So you can find the child from here. So what else do you still want to know? Type it in the chat. I don't have much. And yeah. And sorry, like you're basically not looking at the bottom half of my face for some reason. I'm not sitting properly. Like, and again, I need a cushion to cool down my butt. It's so sweaty. Let me know if you know any good cushion, or let me know if you have any like questions about yeah, about this example. I think I'll just wrap it up and I would complete the documentation on this graph. Um, and then I need to find something else to do. Maybe I'm open to any suggestions. I don't know what else to do at the moment yet. And I'm very looking forward to Hub. When Hub comes up, then there will be more crazy stuff we can do. We can do like branching, merging. There's actually a very good screencast that's done by my colleague about like how you can create an account and like branch it out and then like combine them. That will be also available when we have like when Hub is launched. Um, so yeah, and EuroPython was last week, and now I'm like busy preparing the data science tutorial actually, the data science workshop. So yeah, on the 9th we will have a data science workshop with PyCon Africa, and we are still like wanting more mentors. Like we have a lot of mentees already, but the more mentor the better because then we can give each mentee more attention. So if you know anything, like if you're a advanced Python user or if you know something about data science, you don't have to know both. Like if you are very good at Python and very good at learning stuff quickly, then it's fine because we will give you tutorials and you can basically do some run through them. And I think most, cause like, is what we gotta do is like we give all attendees a hands-on exercise, and then they would just go through them. So they may come across some like coding problems. So if you have used pandas before, even though like you're not a data scientist, you have never like you've never done any data science. If you have used pandas before and go through a little bit of like the materials of like Matplotlib and some not SpaCy, but a scikit-learn. Yeah, if you have like a little bit experience playing with those, actually I think you're good enough to be a mentor, or even like you just like your experience with Python. I'm sure like after you have run through the tutorial, you could problem solve pretty much everything. So because these people who are attending the workshop, they are students. They may be new to Python. They may have no coding experience. So yeah, if you have if you're a coder, if you have used Python before, then yeah, please, we need more mentors. All the information can be found here at humbledata.org. So upcoming event, we are PyCon Africa, and yeah, we are calling for mentors. So just join the mentors, sign up, and yeah, we the deadline is this Sunday, so it would be great if you can sign up this Sunday. If you only know about this after Sunday, but before the 9th, still try to get in touch. We may be able to put you in still. It depends, but yeah, please, help us out. The more mentor we have, the more the more attention we can give for the people who are learning. And like last time we did it with PyCon US, and the feedback was great, and people had a good time. I hope some of them really like they found it helpful to kickstart their career in maybe coding or data science. So please, if you could help. Otherwise, I would see you on Sunday. Sunday would be documentation on, about Python documentations, doc strings, and strings, and the things that I know about documentation in Python. So, yeah, see you soon. Bye.